door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through June 25th is buy one tri-tip roast, get one free. Plus, buy a mystery box and get 3 New York strips free. Also, 10% off all cheese. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny and a very hot day. We'll see an afternoon high around 104. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly cloudy, with the low around 73. And tomorrow, a slight chance of storms late, otherwise mainly sunny and hot, high around 99. And meteorologist Kyle Cook for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Oerman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Good afternoon and welcome into On the Block, found here and only here at 93.7 The Ticket. On the radio dial, 93.7 FM. Online, theticketfm.com. On Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube by searching 93.7 The Ticket and Allo, channel 961. Appreciate Allo for giving us that channel on their cable package. We'll go to our Allo Fiber VIP line in about an hour. Welcome in Brian Munson of Husker Online with lots going on in Husker football recruiting. We'll get Brian's takes on that and potentially some rule changes coming to college football as well. Will there be no limit on the number of countable on-field coaches? Sounds like the NCAA Division I committee is set to vote on that at some point this week. We thank Sartor Heyman Jewelers for our live video streams on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as for our text line. If you want to be a part of the show, you sure can. 402-464-5685. I know there are those of you who would like me to talk some hockey. I got that done last segment. I gave my little bit of analysis. Check out the Happy Hour podcast if you want my takes on hockey. But if you come to this show for hockey takes, you are either sorely misguided or you are an eternal optimist, and I respect you for it. 402-464-5685. Let's play a fun game here at Text Line. Which of the three Husker baseball alum starting pitchers has the best night tonight? In case you didn't know, Cade Povich, Spencer Schwellenbach, and Matt Waldron all taking the hill for their teams tonight. It'll be Povich, the lefty, up first. Baltimore is hosting Cleveland. That's a 5:35 p.m. first pitch tonight. Povich been better. Hasn't been rocked necessarily. Hasn't been elite, but for a guy that just got called up, who is climbing his way through the ranks pretty steadily, he's been pretty darn good for Baltimore. Last time out, Spencer Schwellenbach had his MLB quality start. That's a big deal for him. 6 innings, fewer than 3 runs allowed. It's the Braves taking on the Cardinals. That game at 6:45 tonight. And then the late game, San Diego will be hosting Washington at about 8:40 Central Time. So 3 Husker pitchers all on the bump. Gino, you're saying Matt Waldron will have the best start. I sure hope so. It's been really cool to see Matt Waldron's rise from Nebraska preps through Nebraska to developing the knuckleball. And not just developing the knuckleball, but getting on Pitching Ninja's Twitter account his fair share of times, putting up some ridiculous numbers or lack thereof in terms of the spin with his knuckleball. He's gone viral for a couple of his fantastic pitches, but maybe the most viral that the Matt Waldron has gone is at OTAs. He had Patrick Mahomes imitating him. Mahomes got into a wind up, tossed the football a little bit sidearm and said all he wants to do is learn to throw a knuckleball like that Padres guy, meaning Matt Waldron. What a glow up. What a story for Matt Waldron, finding his place in that Padres rotation. In terms of rooting interest for me, without a doubt, Cade Povich is at the top of my list. Someone needs to beat Cleveland. The Guardians cannot be allowed to continue getting away with what they're doing, hitting unsustainably well with runners in scoring position, having like 4 dudes on the team anyone has ever heard of, and they're starting to run away with the AL Central. We can't have it. Rooting for Schwellenbach against the Cardinals, just as a Royals fan, big Western Missouri supremacist over here. Love me Kansas City more than St. Louis, obviously. So I hope Schwellenbach continues to put the Cardinals in their place and continues their slide. And hey, I got nothing against the Nationals. I got nothing strong for the Padres, but I will definitely be rooting for Matt Waldron as he takes the hill for the Padres against the Nationals tonight. Again, which of those 3 guys, Povich, Schwellenbach, or Waldron, has the best start? Let me know on the text line 402-464-5685. Or if you're a Royals fan, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being not concerned at all and 5 being very concerned, how concerned are you about the Kansas City Royals? They have fallen out of a playoff spot for the first time since April 7th. We'll give you more stats. We'll give you more numbers. I'll tell you how I'm feeling about the Kansas City Royals, who you hear on these very airwaves. You'll hear them again tonight. That'll be the chunk of the first hour here during On the Block.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an Exactly Merge high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
Place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados, plus Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville, $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Do you need your event or venue secured? Call Tank Security Team. Tank Security Team is Lincoln's #1 non-lethal security company. Tank Security Team offers first-class security with efficient and quicker response times. Hire Tank Security Team. No hassle, no headaches. Call Tank at 402-310-3589 and get secured today.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No Strick today. He's out doing his charity golf thing somewhere in Eastern America, I believe. He'll be back Wednesday, last I heard. So you're stuck with me for today and tomorrow. But if you want to hear less of me, give me more of you on the text line, 402-464-5685. Lemonhead says he's going with Waldron as well. He's got a 3.46 ERA, walks and hits per innings pitch, a whip of 1.16, and Patrick Corbin 1-7 on the season. Man, what a lemon that contract has turned into. Corbin pitched really well for the Nats down the stretch of their World Series run. And then I know I just described the contract as a lemon, but Patrick Corbin turned back into the pumpkin, right? Cinderella's horse-drawn carriage happened to Patrick Corbin as his pitching abilities. Has not been good for him. Well, it hasn't been good recently for the Kansas City Royals either. They come off of one of the hardest stretches of their season playing Cleveland, who they get a 2-game split with, thanks to a rain out, a postponement. They go to Seattle and play the Mariners pretty well. That was at Kauffman. I think the Royals took 2 of 3 from the Mariners at Kauffman. Okay, then the Royals hosted the Yankees, got blasted, went 1-3 against New York, who's looked like the best team in at least the American League, if not baseball, for most of this year. Went out to Los Angeles, played the Dodgers, took 1 out of 3 against them. So 2-5 against the Dodgers and the Yankees. You're like, okay, you survived the tough stretch. A couple games below 500 in series against first place teams and juggernauts. The schedule should lighten up. 49 to the next 53 games, 46 to the next 53, whatever it was at the time, against teams with below 500 records. All right, now's the time to kick it back into gear. You'll face some teams that are struggling, that are scuffling, that haven't hit it well, haven't pitched it well, or both. Well, guess what? That stretch started off with the Royals nearly getting swept by Oakland. Oakland! The A's! Who are surprisingly salty for the first month of the year, and then have absolutely fallen off since then. Royals lose the first 2 games of the series. Seth Lugo goes in game 3. Just makes one mistake with the Royals up 2-0. Oakland ties it up. Zach Geloff with a 2-run home run. Thank goodness for Bobby Witt Jr., and that's going to be a theme of this segment. Thank goodness for Bobby Witt Jr. He hits a solo home run right after Lugo gave up the 2-run homer. Royals win the final game of the series in Oakland 3-2. All right, okay, you salvage that one, but you go to the Rangers next. Scuffling, we know they're the defending World Series champions. Just haven't ever looked right. Haven't been the same this year. Well, guess what? Royals go on the road, get swept by Texas. Swept by a team below 500 and almost swept by the A's. Guys, the Royals are 8-18 in their last 26 games. They had a 7 to 7.5 game lead over Boston in the 3rd wild card spot for a while. Well, guess what? In the last month, that lead has disappeared. For the first time since we woke up on April 7th, the Royals do not hold a playoff spot or even a tiebreaker for a playoff spot. That's how quickly things have gone down the drain. Royals got to, I think, 34-15 at one point. They're 42-35 right now. It hasn't been good. Or 34-15 it would have been. It's problematic. It is not good for the Kansas City Royals over the last month of baseball. It is so rare for the Royals to have a losing June and then a winning season overall. The numbers aren't looking great for Kansas City right now. The question, though, is how concerned am I about the Kansas City Royals? Short term, this season, versus long term, 2 separate answers. I'm less concerned long term. Having listened to various comments from general manager JJ Piccolo, the team recognizes its issues. GM JJP realizes what's up with the team. He knows they need more production from the outfield. He knows that the bullpen has been a weak spot, and it sounds like the Royals are kicking about trade ideas. It does take 2 to tango, though, right? Some of these teams are bordering on contention, especially in the National League, where it's a jumbled mess. A lot of those teams are waiting to see another month of baseball to see if they can, get hot, make a run, and find themselves in the position to be buyers or at least make a run at the playoffs. There's just not many true sellers and those true sellers don't have a lot of pieces to offer. The Royals have been linked to Tommy Pham and Michael Kopech with the White Sox. Man, that's not great in terms of reinforcements. And guess what? Other teams are looking at those guys too. Because there's not many sellers, it's a seller's market. The price for those guys goes up. Joe Adell and Taylor Ward as potential corner outfield options for the Royals with the Angels. You don't feel great about those. They'd hit better than what the Royals have gotten so far. But again, at what price? From an already subpar farm system. The Royals tried Drew Waters for like a game and a half and sent him back down. It's a quad A type of guy who's been up with the team. He's been down in Omaha. He didn't really get a chance to prove he was anything different than he was. But the fact that he didn't get a shot tells me that the Royals are kind of out on his future with the organization. He's a depth guy or he's trade filler is really what that tells me. The lineup is in shambles right now. It has been like pulling teeth to get the Royals to score runs. Everyone essentially is cold at the same time. What you had for a while was the top of the order of Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino, Perez. Those four guys clustering their hits together really well for like 2.5 months. Problem is in baseball, it's not sustainable. Someone's going to get cold. Someone's going to go on the injured list. And the guy that was for the Royals was Michael Massey, who came in and lengthened that lineup even just, one more spot. Lefty bat with some pop at second base. Well, he's had some chronic back issues. He goes down with those again. And the Royals have sorely missed his bat since he went down. Even just one extra spot of length in the lineup really helps this roster in the way that Matt Quatraro likes to put this lineup together. By OPS Plus, looking at the Royals lineup, only 2 players in the lineup tonight have an OPS Plus above 100, which is league average. Salvador Perez at 125 and Bobby Witt Jr. at 146. Massey is above league average at 129, but he's done it in only 110 plate appearances. Freddie Fermin at 112 has been a really solid option off the bench. I think he's a little stretched as a DH, though, right? And you like Salvador Perez at catcher, what he provides you, because his defense has gotten so much better. Matt Quatraro just doesn't have enough valuable options offensively to be able to fill out a lineup card on any given day. You look at, Maikel Garcia hitting leadoff. He's played 77 of, I believe, 79 games now. He's batting .239, 20% below league average. MJ Melendez has been essentially an everyday guy, batting .181. Kyle Isbell in center field, .229. Nelson Velasquez, designated hitter, probably should be termed designated swinger at just a .200 batting average. Even a guy like Vinny Pasquantino, OPS Plus of 99, so right about league average, only hitting .231. His slugging's only .402 for a guy that was depended on to provide some pop and some thump and some whomp in the middle of that Royals order. He's been average. Hunter Renfroe was just getting hot before he fouls 2 pitches off of his foot, goes on the injured list, ended up not being a break, just a bruise, so he's working his way back. Adam Frazier hasn't been good with the bat. Nick Lofton, pretty much the same, right? Utility guy, hasn't found a role at the major league level. Garrett Hampson, man, a 97 OPS Plus feels misleading. It feels like empty statistics for Garrett Hampson. So the lineup is a big problem for the Royals. But maybe even a bigger problem is the bullpen. We've talked about just how good the Royals' starting pitching is. Every single starter has an ERA plus, or I guess 4 of the 5 have an ERA plus of 100. So again, 100 being league average. Michael Wacha, your 4th starter, just came back after missing some time, 104. Brady Singer, big bounce back for him after he was terrible last year, 128. Cole Reagans, 135. Maybe not as dominant as you wanted him to be if you're the Royals, but he's been pitching like an ace over the last month. And Seth Lugo has been maybe the best pitcher, one of the top 3 pitchers in the American League for sure, with a 174 ERA plus. Alec Marsh, the 5th starter, a guy who had a career, 5+ ERA in the minor leagues, is right about league average as well. He went 7 shutout innings against the Yankees, one of the best lineups in all of baseball. If he's been your worst starter, he's your 5. and he was above league average until just a couple weeks ago. The starters are fine. Problem is the bullpen, right? MacArthur, nominally the closer, 12% worse than league average. Chris Stratton, up and down, worse than league average. John Schreiber is riding the back of a fantastic April and start to May. Angel Zerpa, utility fireman role type of guy, lefty, one of the best years of his career. He's been solid, but not shut down. Nick Anderson, in and out, up and down. Will Smith, same sort of deal. The problem with the bullpen is they don't strike anybody out. Back in the day, you could get away with it, but not anymore. In this day and age of Major League Baseball, you need guys that throw 95 plus, and 95's probably middle of the road anymore. Zerpa started running it up there in 96, 97 from the left side, which he can do now that he's been moved to the bullpen. MacArthur throwing about as hard as last year, but anecdotally, it feels like it's down a little bit. John McMillan, who was a big piece of the bullpen in September last year, struggling in AAA. Will Klein has been bouncing back and forth between Omaha and the majors, not really given a chance to establish himself, and he throws 100 plus. But the strikeout numbers are ridiculously poor for the Royals bullpen. MacArthur, the closer, has thrown 29 innings, 26 strikeouts. Less than a strikeout per inning for your closer? He's supposed to come in and blow guys away. Chris Stratton, 32 innings, 29 strikeouts. John Schreiber, 30 innings, 20 strikeouts. That one surprises me less given his arm slot and lack of velocity. He's kind of a change of pace guy. But still, not even one strikeout per inning. Zerpa, 24 strikeouts in 28 innings. Nick Anderson, 22 strikeouts in 28 innings. Will Smith, 17 in 23 innings. Sam Long has come up and been okay. He's got 11 strikeouts in 12 innings, though. Carlos Hernandez was on the injured list for a while, worked his way back. In 6 innings pitched, he's only got 2 strikeouts, and he's got some of the strongest, heaviest stuff in the entire organization. The offense isn't scoring runs. It is the biggest problem and the one that I would address first. But the bullpen is not holding leads because of the inability to strike guys out. They're giving up hits and hits and hits, right? There haven't been a lot of big blasts, not a lot of, big home runs, momentum swinging home runs. It's just been death by 1,000 paper cuts because as good as the Royals defense is, the bullpen just pitches too much to contact. The bullpen needs a guy or two with blow you away strikeout stuff. And that's not cheap on the open market, in the trade market before the trade deadline. And there's not a lot of it in the system. Again, I mentioned Will Klein, been up and down from Omaha to Kansas City. Walter Pennington feels Angel Zerpa-ish to me. Not the biggest strikeout stuff, but why doesn't he have a shot? Sam Long, not a huge strikeout guy in the minors, kind of out of nowhere revelation. We'll see what he's able to do with more of an extended look. At the end of the day, the Royals sit at 42-37, third in the AL Central, going into a 3-game set with the Miami Marlins that starts tonight. According to their win-loss record and their run differential, their win-loss record is 2 games behind what it should be. Which, okay, that makes sense. That's fair. Throw a couple games on the bullpen. The Royals' run differential right now, 362 runs scored, 320 runs allowed. So the Royals are plus 42. Guess how many wins they have? 42. The Royals are winning by an average of 1 run a game. That's not dominant, right? When they were 34-15, the run differential was up there in the 60s or 70s. Like, oh yeah, this is sustainable. They can do this, right? Run differential tells you as much, if not more, as win-loss record does. But man, that run differential has tanked over the last month, as has the record. Big picture, I'm slightly concerned by the lack of the farm system, but even being 5 games above 500 as we enter the last week of June, that is a huge step in the right direction for a team that didn't win its 42nd game till late August or early September last year. 56-106 was the Royals record, which is why I find it too hard to be concerned that the team sits 5 games above 500. Now, in the micro sense, in the small picture, if you're looking at the individual trees, not the forest, I have a pit in my stomach right now. It's like watching a 20-point lead in basketball get to 18 and then 15 Okay, now it's back to 12. Now 10, 8, 5, 3, 2, 1. You just see the lead slowly being lost, just oozing away. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. You know, like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It would be another way to describe it. I don't think the Royals are as bad as they've played, but my optimism for this year will turn around depending on how active the front office is both willing to be and able to be. Talk is cheap, right? This is a Royals franchise that will tell you it was in the running for Ronald Acuna and Juan Soto, which legitimately the Royals were out of the Latin American pipeline. But guess what? They didn't get it done. This year's Royals team making the playoffs easier because there are now 6 teams per league that get in. It would still be a nearly, if not entirely, unprecedented turnaround from 106 losses to the playoffs. If you told me before the start of the year that the Kansas City Royals were going to hold a wild card spot for a good chunk of 2 months, I'm feeling pretty good about things and where they're at. The first cushion that the Royals provided fans was fun. The boys were playing some ball. They were. Don't let them get hot. There's a chance they can rediscover that magic again, right? 2003 Royals are getting thrown around as a comparison. Started off 17-4, led the division, fell back into the middle of the pack, made a run right before the All-Star break to lead the division before ultimately falling out of it. That team ended up 83-79. These Royals are on pace for 85 wins. The problem was what came next in 04, 05, 06, 07, 08 was 5 years of wretchedness. Horrible teams, bad baseball being played. The hope is that even if this season turns out like 2003, the Royals missing the playoffs, that we will look back fondly on the start of the year and say, what if? What if a year of growth? What if another savvy free agent addition or two to lengthen the lineup? It's a bummer. There's that pit in my stomach. I hope that knot gets untangled and untied so that the Royals can be in contention for the playoffs come late August into September, and that we're still carrying the Royals playoff run in September and October. I'm not holding my breath for it, but before I freak out and lose my mind about how bad things are right now, I'm going to choose to look back at last year and remember how bad 56-106 felt. Thanks for the Royals rant. One more segment to go to wrap up hour 1 of On the Block. Hour 2, college football focused. Ranking the tiers of Big Ten transfer quarterbacks and a Husker football recruiting conversation with Brian Munson, all ahead in hour 2 of On the Block. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
The Nebraska Lottery presents 5 reasons the dollar bill is so great. First, it's always there when you need it. You can always find one folded up in your pocket just waiting to get you out of a jam. Second, it's humble. It doesn't strut around like a 50 or 100 waiting for people to compliment it. Third, it works hard. Whether you need more money for a tip or extra detergent at the laundromat, a dollar bill sure comes in handy. Fourth, it beats lugging around 100 pennies. And fifth, you can use it to buy a Lotto America ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. Lotto America only costs $1. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So visit a Nebraska Lottery retailer today and buy a Lotto America ticket. Sounds like someone tried to pay with 100 pennies. So sad.
Lotto America top prize odds, 1 in 26 million.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny and a very hot day. We'll see an afternoon high around 104. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly cloudy, with the low around 73. And tomorrow, a slight chance of storms late, otherwise mainly sunny and hot, with the high around 99. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an exactly merged high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Still no Strick, but not just Austin anymore. Joined in studio by a couple special people here. I want to thank Mr. Cub on the text line. I appreciate those kind words, Mr. Cub. Go Vols tonight, I suppose. I don't love it. I very much do not love it, but I am certainly rooting for my prediction more than I'm rooting for Tennessee. I said Vols in 3. I'm sticking to it. I don't love that, but I like that more than I like Texas A&M winning. We welcome into the studio Bella and Rico. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Rico and Bella are resident tracksters and track stars, of course. And
her more than me.
I don't know, Rico.
Obviously. You went to first off, you went to nationals. Like that already beats me. And then you won a few times. So it's whatever.
Well, I was like, I don't know, 10 when you were running track. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I was setting the bar.
Track trials?
Yes,
Olympic
the
trials?
U.S. Olympic trials are going on out in Tracktown, USA,
That's
Eugene,
right.
Oregon.
What did we miss? What do we need to know?
Well,
let's talk about the men's 100.
The men's 100 with Noah Lyles, the reigning world champion.
Yes.
Winning that, cementing his spot as the best 100-meter runner in the U.S. currently.
Mhm.
He did make the switch from the 200. 3 years ago, he was, dead last in the 100?
Oh, I don't remember.
So, yeah, he's made the switch, was a world champion last year. Fred Curley, two world championships ago, was the 100-meter champion, ended up getting third place. And Kenny Bednarik, Kung Fu Kenny, as he's more affectionately known as.
That is a fantastic nickname.
Comes in at second. He also made the switch from the 200. Fred Curley made the switch from the 400.
Right.
So all the guys, top 3 who are going to the Olympics, all not originally 100-meter guys.
Mhm.
All ran 9.8s. So it was a 9.83 for Noah, which is the exact same time he ran when he won his world championship.
Oh, okay.
9.87 for Kenny and a 9.88 for Fred.
Okay. But we can't forget to mention Christian Coleman, the 60-meter world record holder who got 4th in the event yesterday. So disappointing. I mean, obviously you want success for everybody that's running, but like I specifically enjoy watching him run. He has the best start out of everybody in the field. So for him to not make the US 100 team is a little disappointing.
Easily the best start. He smokes everybody out of the blocks, but he's a little bit on the shorter side compared to those guys.
Mhm.
So once they get into their drive phases and they start stretching out, he loses a little bit. His sprint endurance isn't quite there with guys who run 2s and 4s. So he falls behind a little bit. If he can get a decent enough lead, usually he can hold it, but it's tough for him.
Yeah, and it's millimeters. I mean, the 100 is a game of millimeters.
He went
really,
9.93.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody posting this. 9.93 would have him winning many other countries' trials
Mhm.
and would have him on the team in the 100 for just about every other country in the world.
Right.
But the person who got, was it 5th place? Yeah, 5th place. Christian Miller, an 18-year-old high schooler out of the state of Florida.
Built diff.
Crazy.
Who
spring-loaded shoes.
Yeah.
Book it.
He will
Book
be he will be an alternate for the 4x1, so he's still going to go to Paris. But he'll train with them, he'll practice with them.
Mhm.
If anything happens to anybody, Lord forbid, he'll be there on the 4x1 in
Right.
Paris running for the US Olympic team.
Wasn't there some 18-year-old on the 400?
The 416.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Quincy Wilson.
A high school sophomore out of the state of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Ran-
Crazy.
So the 400 meter U18 record for the US had stood for 45, 48 years.
Mm.
He broke it twice in 2 days.
In a row, which is unheard of. You never run faster your second day, especially for like a young guy at the Olympic trials. But he did. It's crazy.
Am I wrong for thinking something smells fishy there?
No, these kids today are just ridiculous.
You could think that maybe he's peaking early and later in his career, he won't have the success that he's seeing now. Or this guy just becomes another version of, I mean, Noah Lyles didn't go to college. He went straight to professional from high school.
Yeah. Matthew Bowling.
Yep.
He potentially peaked early, at least in the sprints.
I would
in
agree.
100 and the 2. He's made the switch to the 4.
Right.
But he was looked at as the future for U.S. track and field in the 100 and couldn't get much faster. He
Mhm.
might have peaked early. So he's made the switch to the 400, which he's excelling at.
Yeah.
He's doing a really good job. So maybe, but I mean, 44.5, even if that's peaking early, is ridiculous.
Incredible. So, Rico, do you think the 18-year-old in the 100 will go to college?
I think he should.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is even though he goes 9.9, which is unheard of for high schoolers.
Oh, yeah.
I think he should still go to college so he can continue to get that coaching. I know he can get coaching at the professional ranks, but I feel like going to college, honestly, he might make more going to college than he would going pro.
Okay, accepting your alma maters, your top 3 track schools, both of you.
Well, Oregon, obviously.
Yes.
Tracktown USA, to practice every day at literally the best track facility in the world would be crazy. Rico, you go.
Oregon, number 1.
Yeah.
Easy choice there. Tracktown USA, Eugene, Oregon, Nike headquarters,
Mhm.
all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, give me
all that
Oregon.
free gear. My
Oh,
gosh.
goodness.
My gosh.
I would lose my mind.
And then,
what's
so
your number 2? Because I feel
number
like we're going to differ
2,
here.
I think so too. Number 2 comes from my expertise in the 400. Arkansas this year, for the very first time in
Ooh.
NCAA history, they went 1, 2, 3, 4 in the women's 400 at the national championships. That has never been done by any team ever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crazy.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say, with your expertise in the 400, at least for the women's side, USC.
Oh,
Because that is
okay.
a 400
Thinking
women's
about
400 school.
Allison Felix, Michael Norman, Rye Benjamin, Kendall Ellis.
They crank 400 runners out like they're nothing.
Yeah.
USC is a
Rico?
great school. My number 2, honestly, the back-to-back 3-time maybe national champions in outdoor, Florida. Florida,
Yeah,
they
to
have
train
something
with Coach
special.
Holloway. Yeah.
Goodness, if I could train with Grant Holloway, that would blow my mind.
Yeah.
He still hasn't lost a race since college.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, since high
Woo.
school.
Yeah.
Since he was a senior, I believe, in high school.
I think it's like the last 60 races he's ran. He's won all of them.
He has not lost
Yeah.
a 60-meter or 110-meter hurdle race since high school.
Same.
He's ridiculous. But no, Florida's just been on a tear in track and field lately. Barely won nationals this year, but still won it. The Gators. That's my number 2 school.
Yeah. Number 3, give me USC. I'll take that one.
Okay.
Rico, that was a good idea. To train every day at Allison Felix Field.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'd lose my mind.
So
Anyway.
I've got a tie for number 3.
No, you have to pick. You are not allowed to tie.
But
you are not allowed to tie.
But
you
pick
one school
because it's an indoor-outdoor thing.
No.
It's an indoor-outdoor thing.
You determine one.
3
or
or
meet
3.
your mind.
Okay, let's hear them both, and then we'll make
can
a decide.
Can I give you both, and then I'll make the decision?
You can give one, and then you can tell us the other off air.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. I have to.
No.
Austin makes the rules.
Okay, so
my rules.
So number 3, it's tough because I want to say the orange team down south in the big state.
Yep. Okay, Rico says Texas. There we go. Rico says Texas.
Arkansas. They have the best indoor facility in my mind. And I had a friend who went there, and just seeing all the gear that he got and where he trained and everything when he posts his pictures, and just the Razorbacks were making a push to be that best track school for a while. Kind of falling off a little bit, but not too far.
Not
so
the
I go
women's
Arkansas.
400.
No.
Thanks for the update, you two. We'll do it again later in the week, maybe.
Yeah,
let's do it.
It'll be great. We've got 400 finals, I believe, for the men today.
Yep.
We also have some throws going on. Shout out to Dash Sermon of Nebraska. Got 4th place in javelin. Just missed out on the Olympic team. Shout out to Ashley Peter, my friend who I threw for UNK for 2 years, then transferred to Kansas State. She's throwing discus today to try and make the Olympic team. So there's some more action going on. If you got Peacock, check it out. I believe the late session will be on NBC, so you can watch it on there.
There you go. Don't go away. Hour 2 of On the Block. College football focus, Big Ten transfer quarterbacks, and Husker recruiting with Brian Munson all ahead.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit. Update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny and a very hot day. We'll see an afternoon high around 104. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly cloudy, with the low around 73. And tomorrow, a slight chance of storms late, otherwise mainly sunny and hot. High around 99. And meteorologist Kyle Cluck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane. Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
This is On the Block with Stricken Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Oerman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Stricken Austin.
All right, we're moving on from track. Appreciate Rico and Bella for stopping in and telling us everything we needed to know about the Team USA Olympic track trials. I made the joke off air that, it's exciting seeing people run fast, but I would rather watch the swimming trials because I watch a lot more running of some sort than I do swimming, but to each their own. Maybe that's a question for a text line. Are you more interested in the swimming Olympic trials or the track Olympic trials? 402-464-5685. Again, partial to swimming personally just because I watch more running than I do swimming, but also having the swim trials out of Omaha and seeing Indianapolis set an attendance record feels bad. Doesn't feel great. What does feel good is potentially starting a new career with NEBCO. NEBCO and constructors and ready-mixed drivers are hiring. Constructors hiring for all positions with immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. And ready-mixed drivers hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete. Apply today. Start your career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. You can go to one of 3 websites. The general website, easiest to find, nebcoinc.com, nebcoinc.com, or constructorslincoln.com, as well as readymixedconcrete.com to learn more. 402-464-5685. The other question for us right now, who is the best transfer quarterback in the Big Ten in terms of guys that transferred in this year? Not returning guys, so like a Cade McNamara doesn't count for the purposes of this exercise. So you're looking at maybe a Will Rogers, a Will Howard, a Dylan Gabriel, a Tyler Van Dyke, Max Brosmer, someone like that. Give me your thoughts. 402-464-5685. Who will be the best transfer quarterback in the Big Ten this upcoming season and why? We're going to go through this in tiers, not in rankings, right? 1 through 18 or whatever. Right? There's not 18 in the conference. But going through this list, putting it together, the Big Ten kind of surprised me with how shockingly adequate the quarterback play seems like it'll be this coming year. When you think about Big Ten West football, you don't think about quarterbacks. Shoot, when you think about Big Ten East football, you don't really think about quarterbacks outside of, Ohio State, maybe Penn State from time to time. Maryland's had some guys that could sling it. But even Michigan, I don't think really factors into the, quarterback discussion all that heavily all the time on a per year basis. Dude, I would put, Connor Cook and Kirk Cousins up against a lot of the guys Michigan had in a similar time frame. But looking at the tiers of transfer quarterbacks in the Big Ten, the bottom tier, such as it is the ones that I presume are going to be backups. I look at a Brendan Sullivan transferring from Northwestern to Iowa. Sullivan wasn't great for Northwestern last year. He was passable, pardon the pun. Okay, but helped lead Northwestern to that surprising 7-5 record and then the bowl win over Iowa. If Cade McNamara goes down again, Iowa shouldn't feel great about its quarterback position, but I would take Brendan Sullivan in a heartbeat over the 18.5 quarterback rating that they got from Deacon Hill last year. Tommy Schuster, if that name sounds familiar to you, that's because he carved Nebraska up in the first half a couple seasons ago. Tommy Schuster, formerly a Fighting Hawk of North Dakota, he transfers in to Michigan State. So just swapping a bright green for a slightly darker green. I presume he's the backup, and we'll get to who it is. He's number 2 on the depth chart behind. Dante Moore going to Oregon from UCLA. Interesting sort of saga with Dante Moore. A will he, won't he relationship with UCLA in terms of the commitment. A will he, won't he relationship with Michigan in terms of out of the transfer portal. Detroit area guy who made the trip out west. He was linked to Michigan, not strongly, but people wondered if a return to the Mitten State, the Glove State, would be in the cards for Dante Moore. No, he goes from splitting time at UCLA as a true freshman to Oregon, where, as Augie points out, he'll back up Dylan Gabriel, who Augie says best quarterback at the best spot. We'll get into Dylan Gabriel a little bit more here, Augie. Appreciate the comment. But Dante Moore made a decision that we don't see a lot in college football these days, which is transferring to a place to sit for a year. Dante Moore, 4-star quarterback, pretty highly rated, got the glitz and glam in UCLA. A lot of times a guy like that is transferring where he'll get immediate playing time. We know that's how college football works in this day and age. But Dante Moore said, nope, my year at UCLA opened my eyes. I'm going to go to a better situation for me, not just now, but for the future. Some guys need reps. I don't want to fault guys for going into the transfer portal in search of playing time, because to be fair, a good number of guys just need reps to develop. But I think what Dante Moore says and understands is that, hey, reps are nice. I'm going to get a lot of them on the second team. I'll watch from a guy who, like Brad says, Dylan Gabriel is like in his 9th year now. Yeah, he's been around the block, starting at UCF, going to Oklahoma, now to Oregon. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel's played some college football. That's a good guy to learn from. To learn how to handle the ups and downs, to learn how to read a defense, how to command a locker room and a huddle. I really respect the move that Dante Moore is making, going from a part-time starter at UCLA to presumably the backup at Oregon behind Dylan Gabriel. I really like that. I would also throw Jalen Gramstad in this tier. Obviously, a Husker fan's more familiar with him as he transfers to Nebraska from Northwestern College. A lot's been said about his addition, right? A winner, a team captain, NAIA player of the year at that level. Matt Rule says, the competitive spirit and just the veteran presence he brings, even if he doesn't play on the field, should help the Nebraska quarterback room this year. If any 4 of these guys see the field, Brendan Sullivan at Iowa, Tommy Schuster at Michigan State, Dante Moore at Oregon, or Jalen Grahamstad for Nebraska, things have either gone incredibly right or incredibly wrong. So I wouldn't presume we see much of these guys. But guys we'll be seeing more of in the next tier, Max Brosmer, Aiden Childs, and MJ Morris. We'll start with Morris, right? He was at North Carolina State, enters the transfer portal, had Nebraska interest out of high school. Nebraska pursued him again out of the transfer portal. He decides to stay out east and commit to Maryland, taking over for Talia Tagovailoa. Pretty big shoes to fill. Obviously, the whole Tagovailoa saga. Enters the draft, withdraws from the draft, enters the portal, can't get the extra year of eligibility because he played in 2 snaps at Alabama before the transfer rules were in effect. So a little bit unfortunate for Tagovailoa. I think MJ Morris has the tools to replace him. Pretty good arm, mobile enough to get the job done. Maryland's really settled into that 7-5, 8-4 range. And I'm interested to see if MJ Morris can elevate the program from that, or if he's just another, next guy in line type, where that's just who Maryland is going to be in the new look Big Ten. Aiden Childs at Michigan State by way of Oregon State, followed his head coach at Oregon State, Jonathan Smith, from Corvallis to East Lansing. Childs has plenty of talent. Dual threat guy, pretty big arm, able to run the ball, but he didn't really play last year, right? He was backing up DJ Uiagalelei at Oregon State. Now, of course, DJ also transferred out, but he's not in the Big Ten, so that's okay. Aiden Childs is definitely one that I'm keeping an eye on. I know Nick Sainert will be keeping his eyes on it because of the dual threat ability, because DJ Uiagalelei, fine passer, but better known for his linebacker stature and physique. Really good running the ball at Oregon State. Really curious to see how Aiden Childs plays in East Lansing. And then the mad science experiment, to some degree, in the former Big Ten West is Max Brosmer, who was FCS Player of the Year, Heisman level finalist at New Hampshire, playing in kind of an air raid system. He chucked the ball around the yard for New Hampshire, was really good at it as well. High completion percentage, pretty big arm, spread the ball around to a number of targets. He was not in the transfer portal for long. Minnesota snapped him up. Going from New Hampshire to Minnesota, it'll be his first year, at the Division I level, but the arm talent is there. Just comes down to the processing ability. Will he be able to catch up to the speed of the Division I, FBS game? Curious to find that out. The next tier is the guys that have played some college football, especially some, Power 5, Power 4 now level football, but still have plenty of questions to answer. Ethan Kaliakmanis, still in the conference, but not at Minnesota. He transfers from the Twin Cities out to Piscataway. He'll be playing for Rutgers. Has shown flashes, again, kind of dual threat ability. Husker fans will not forget him coming in as the changeup after Tanner Morgan got knocked out, leading Minnesota to a second half comeback win in Lincoln. Curtis Rourke hasn't played at the Power 5 level, but certainly has the bloodlines from his brother. And he's going from Ohio, Frank Solich U. He's following Kurt Signetti to Indiana. Dual threat guy. Again, pretty middle of the road athletic traits, but gamer. Gets the job done. Good enough arm. Runs it really well. And is an upperclassman. He's experienced at that MAC level. And MAC guys usually translate pretty well to the Big Ten. The last guy that I'm putting in this tier is Tyler Van Dyke. I know a lot of people would throw him in the upper tier of transfers. I'm not fully sold on Tyler Van Dyke. One fabulous year that had him leaping up NFL draft boards. He fell off hard last year. I don't know how much that's on him. Mario Cristobal, the general situation going on in Miami. I need to see more from Tyler Van Dyke. He might have a better pro, set of prospects than Tanner Mordecai did. Mordecai might just be the better college quarterback, though. And for a big year 2 for Luke Fickell and that staff, is Tyler Van Dyke the guy to set them off on the right foot in the new look Big Ten? We'll have to see. Then the top tier of Big Ten quarterback transfers, I've got 3 of them. Augie and Brad mentioned Dylan Gabriel. Thrown for a lot of yards. has done it at some pretty high-level schools, right? Being the successor to Mackenzie Milton. Yeah, he was the successor to Mackenzie Milton at Central Florida. Moves on from there to Oklahoma. Didn't necessarily take the world by storm, which isn't surprising with Lincoln Riley having jetted before last year. I think a year 2 under Lincoln Riley would have been really good for Dylan Gabriel, who was just fine, solid enough, good, but I think he's valued mostly because of his experience and that he's a proven commodity. Will Rogers interests me. That's a guy that's bounced around a little bit. Think about him at Mississippi State, had a number of transfer portal suitors. Big arm for not the biggest guy, mobile enough outside the pocket. How will his skills translate from an air raid system to Big Ten football? We'll have to see. Again, another guy that's older, that's been around the block, that's accomplished, has thrown for plenty of yards. But what does he look like under Jed Fish at Washington? Very curious to see what that looks like when he gets a taste of Big Ten football, if he's willing and able to be the guy, and if he can make Washington better than I think they're going to be. I'm not sold on Washington's outlook for the year, but getting a guy like Will Rogers out of the portal boosts them up a notch or two, in my opinion. And then, of course, Will Howard, a guy who Nebraska had plenty of interest in down the road at Kansas State. Up and down, a little bit of ball security issues, definitely improved over his time in the Little Apple, but was passed up by Avery Johnson down there, free-flowing hair at Kansas State. Will Howard's really good. Ryan Day does great work with quarterbacks. I do think Will Howard is an upgrade from Kyle McCord in terms of ceiling and potential, right? McCord, steady as she comes, didn't turn the ball over, but also didn't create a lot of huge plays on his own. Perfect distributor, game manager type. Curious to see if, not Lincoln Riley, but Ryan Day, rather, in Columbus, is able to get Will Howard ready to go in year one, if there's another leap left to be taken in him. Because if Will Howard can take a step forward under Ryan Day, Ohio State cements its place as a national championship contender and my pick to win the Big Ten. If Will Howard is who he's always been, maybe that leaves the door cracked open for a freshman, a guy that Ryan Day handpicked, out of high school instead of out of the transfer portal. There's a lot going on in Columbus that we'll keep our eyes on. A lot going on in Lincoln as well. Lots of news in Husker football recruiting. On Mondays, we like to check in with Brian Munson of Husker Online. We'll get an update from Brian Munson after this break. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny and a very hot day. We'll see an afternoon high around 104. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly cloudy, with the low around 73. And tomorrow, a slight chance of storms late, otherwise mainly sunny and hot, high around 99. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cluck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Play ball! Tired of the same old routine? Then bring your crew out to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. Enjoy action-packed home games all week long from May through August. It's the perfect change-up to the typical family night or makes for a home run outing with friends and coworkers. Experience the magic and get in on the excitement. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets now. Unleash the fun.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through June 25th is buy one tri-tip roast, get one free. Plus, buy a mystery box and get 3 New York strips free. Also, 10% off all cheese. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's a Monday at 3:30, which means we like to turn our attention to Husker football recruiting, and to do so, we utilize our Allo VIP line. Allo, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in our resident Texan, Brian Munson. Brian, the upper sort of Midwest is flooding. It's 100 right here in Lincoln right now. In the south central portion of the country, what is the weather situation?
100 degrees. I think it was actually supposed to get up over 100. It was 100 yesterday. Yesterday was our first 100-degree day of the calendar year. Today was supposed to be the second. It was like 101 today. So yeah, it's ugly. It's nasty. It's yucky.
Are you getting a dry heat or is it pretty muggy?
It's still muggy. I mean, like the humidity is still hovering like between 40 and 50%. I mean, it's nasty outside, and it has to do everything with the rain that we got earlier on in the spring. The lakes are all at capacity. There's still a lot of water in the ground, so it is just. It's not that dry heat that typically like you could at least like walk out to your car, get in your car and do it. Like you walk outside, it just like it's immediately on you.
Just know you're not suffering alone, and we will take solace in that we are not suffering alone up here. But let's turn our attention to recruiting, Brian. The big thing of the last couple of weeks for me has been the post-grad camp headlines for Nebraska. Jalen Gramstad and Hayes Miller added to Nebraska's roster out of those camps. Are other schools running these camps and utilizing them like Nebraska is?
I think that they are. I know that like UNK had something. I mean, that's just me being a former loper for me to kind of drop that one. But yeah, I think that they are doing it. I don't think typically it's yielding the type of results, Nebraska's been, fairly niche about it, right? I mean, you're looking for a fourth quarterback. Nobody expected that the reigning NAIA Offensive Player of the Year was going to be there. So that's pretty. That's finding a needle in a haystack, right? So you get that opportunity to host a guy like that, and he's interested in kind of coming to being a Husker because that's what he grew up following and all that good stuff. Then you get a backup kicker, potentially to kind of come in there, and I think a good competition always helps out everybody involved, so that's a good situation I think for Nebraska special teams. Yeah, I don't think that they're having the same types of results, and I think it's just because Nebraska's still trying to find the right depth, the right kind of competition, those pieces that kind of yield a better room, and not just putting an extra body in the room just for the sake of putting a body in the room. You also got like the wide receiver that you mentioned, Miller, and he's coming in to, play slot. And obviously Nebraska, they've brought in a couple longer portal transfer wide receivers, but, the room needs a little bit more depth. You got Lloyd, you bring in the JUCO guy, and it gives you a chance now to kind of say you've got some depth. You can roll through some different guys, and that'll be very helpful. But I just don't feel like the other schools are kind of still looking for the kind of help that Nebraska is at certain positions.
So you mentioned that Nebraska is doing this with a purpose, right? It seems to very much fit the Matt Rule ethos that Nebraska is look anywhere and everywhere for talent to find a guy that can help you. Yeah. If these guys aren't going to make a difference on the field, it kind of, leads me to the point of, well, why are you go getting say the scholarships are just extra bodies. But Matt Rule seems to think that, especially a guy like Gramstad, right, with the player of the year, two-time captain, national champion, can help. What do you think these guys' impact will be on the field if they start, third on the depth chart, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna, Gramstad, probably third, potentially fourth coming in, got to learn the offense, so then it comes down to capability, and you had to pay pretty close attention to like what Matt Rule was saying about him last week, because there was some interesting timing between, Matt Rule being interviewed by Sean and Sip, on the Husker Online show, and to where Gramstad's commitment was announced, and they started talking about him like even playing safety. So I think that they feel like they got a great athlete. I think that they still feel like there's maybe potentially a hole like in the room of quarterback, where he could fit. So I think that that's where he starts out, but it just kind of depends, I think, how next season kind of goes. But I do feel like, just Nebraska has gotten very fortunate, and they've been kind of looking, they're turning over some stones, and some of these things have kind of fallen into their lap. I think for Nebraska to kind of say that they're really back, that there'll be far fewer of these things kind of moving forward. I really feel like, you get those guys you had like Hoskin, or even like a guy like Mekhi Nelson, who I'm sure we'll talk about here very, very shortly. Those are showing, that you really don't have that kind of person, on your roster currently. And it's darn near July. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about 4 weeks before the start of fall camp. And so you're really talking about conditioning for 3 weeks, because they'll be off during the week of the 4th of July. And then you're going to roll right into fall camp, and then let's see what you got. And so there's a lot, there's going to be a fire hose there for them in Lincoln to kind of get everything up to speed conditioning wise and up to speed in the playbook.
You mentioned Mekhi Nelson. I think that's a good jumping off point here. Long-standing relationship with E.J. Barthel. Two things really stand out to me, Brian. The first of which is that he's reclassifying from 25 to 24. As a college basketball junkie, I know that happens a lot in that sport, but what precipitated him wanting to, move his timeline up a year, and how common is that in college football?
Well, so it's a very interesting scenario with him. So he was actually class of 24 before. He graduated from Wilkes-Barre High School in Pennsylvania last December. Literally, when he entered into his senior year, he needed 0.5 credits to complete his senior year. And he knew that he would be done at semester. It just didn't yield for him kind of where he felt like he needed to be when it came to getting to that type of school. So he elected to go to prep school. He started prep school in spring, reclassified 2025 with prep school in mind, went to St. Thomas More. And while spring's kind of going on, traffic is better going through the prep school to come out there and see him. Nebraska gets really, refamiliarized with him because, of that relationship that you mentioned before, going back to UConn between Barthel and Nelson. And then he wins the Under Armour Next Combine for the second year in a row. And that's really, what kind of started things off. But I think here that the real value is that he's a tremendous athlete. Number one, they worked him out at several positions. I mean, he this summer when he's at summer camp, he did running back, he did corner, he did defensive back, and he also did wide receiver. But I think the real value here was that he had this option. He had the option to get back in to take that spot in the class that, was left kind of open by Kewan Lacey, decommitting from Nebraska late in the process and going to Missouri. I think Nebraska, no matter even going out there and getting Dante Dowdle, I don't feel like Nebraska felt like they really satisfied what they needed to do to that room. And Mekhi Nelson was really kind of a godsend, and he's a tremendous player. I mean, he's got great speed. He's very electric. Reminds you a little bit like of a Jamarian Parker. I mean, but he's bigger than Parker. It's going to be very interesting to see, what Nebraska ends up doing with him and maybe how, he takes to the room, because that room's pretty deep now. And it's going to be fun to watch to see how things kind of go and move in through the fall.
You mentioned the positional versatility. Do you think he ends up at running back? Do you think he ends up at a DB? If you've watched him, what's your gut tell you?
Yeah, I think for now, I think that the whole, not having that 2024 guy in the class keeps him in the room. And then, you bring Parker and you bring Booth in, right, in the 2025 group. And then I think you have to do an assessment. And I think it would be just like, Matt Rule and his staff to kind of do that after a year. Did we just recruit over you? Did we find a couple of guys that are going to put even more distance between you and the playing field regularly? And if that's the kind of question that they're getting that kind of possibly or yes answer to, then absolutely. I think that he's going to be the person that they're going to talk about, because I think he's just way too athletic, way too versatile to kind of sit there and be, that fourth or fifth option in that room. So it's really going to kind of depend like how the room's kind of made up. Obviously that very surprising news, that Gabe Ervin was maybe close to transferring out, this spring. So you've always got that kind of, not necessarily, build up on the best foundation, that you got guys are always going to be there. They can leave for any reason. We saw plenty of it, this spring with cheap borders. So it's interesting. They've got great depth there, but yeah, he would be a guy I think starts out in running back, but probably could be a guy that they talk about, like where else could he fit and get on the field quicker.
Brian, if you could refresh people's memory, you mentioned Kewan Lacey, the decommitment, obviously from the 24 class, but there had to be more than that. Why else wasn't Nebraska able to get a running back in the 24 class?
I think by the time that they started to turn the page on the 24 class, they did lock on to another running back in Texas, and turned out he had massive academic issues. And he was having a great year. He was the first, what was his claim to fame? He was the guy that got to 1,000 yards the quickest in the entire nation. And as it turned out, I think it was after like 4 games. It was like 4 or 5 games. He already had 1,000 yards rushing. But then by the time I think Nebraska had a chance to vet it academically, there was just no chance that he was going to make, be able to get qualified. So I think Nebraska always knew there's going to be a challenge to keep Kewan in the boat. Ole Miss, was down there the very first week that they could show up to see him during the evaluation period in the fall. There were a number of new offers that kind of made their way out to him. And despite the fact, of course, that he told me that he was still solid the week before he decommitted, it just seemed like it was one of those things where it could change at any moment, but at the same time, he could end up being a Husker. It just kind of was one of those coin flips. So I just don't think Nebraska felt like there was anybody else out there that could really help them out in the way that like Kewan Lacey was going to be able to do it. And Kewan was, he was a wide receiver, he was a returner, and he was a running back, and that was a 10-4 100 guy. So he was an incredible athlete.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. This one from the text line, Brian, for you, I think it's worth bringing up. I've kind of turned the page because I think the rumblings are one way, not the other. But one of our texters says, anything new on Dawson Merritt?
Not yet. And I'm actually pretty surprised that we made it through the weekend without kind of hearing news, whether it was good or it was bad. I stay in pretty close contact with Chad Simmons, and it gets to a point like with guys that are, Merritt's caliber, it just, you don't want the team guys calling them. You want kind of a single point of contact for each one of the networks that is going out there and distributing the information, obviously. But Chad was supposed to catch up with Dawson on Friday, and that conversation never happened. I think there was some. I think the news that's been getting out is people trying to read the tea leaves. Number one, I don't think there's any real new information that's been released. I think it's just been kind of defaulting back to the fact that, apparently Merritt was very close to committing to Alabama 2 other times before. And, then just Nebraska's always been there kind of in the back of his mind. So you really hope that that's kind of where still things are at. You just got to wonder right now whether Nebraska is the head or the heart when it comes to Merritt. And I think that that's going to be an interesting thing here to kind of keep watching. It's not going to be like this overall, like kind of like business decision and NIL is going to play out. That's not the way this is going to work with Merritt, I don't think. I think he's going to go because it's going to get him the most ready to play at the next level. I think early playing time obviously gets into the equation. I think Nebraska still has that best opportunity for him, clearly with what's kind of going on with their class and with the depth chart there versus I think, there's 2 or 3 other linebackers already in the class for Alabama that are rated, very, very similarly to Dawson. So I think that there's still plenty of things here that make Nebraska, kind of a very competitive choice, even if it is against Alabama. It's not Saban's Alabama, but I mean, they're right now that, DeBoer's got them up there as like the number 1 or number 2 rated recruiting class in the country.
Bama gonna Bama. They remain the Crimson Tide. Kind of taking a bigger picture look at college football here, Brian. The Division I Council looks like it's going to vote again on the number of countable coaches and getting rid of that limit. Do you think it would be a good idea for the D1 Council to, abolish the limit on countable coaches so pretty much anyone in the building can be an on-field coach?
I don't know about good idea. I think it's going to get voted in. I mean, from the people that I kind of talked to and conversed with, it sounds like it's moving that way. I definitely see that there's an advantage, to it, to where you have that ability instructionally to be able to kind of work with those guys. I think obviously Scott Frost's staff had gotten in trouble for that before. It'd be something I think is positive for the players. I think it's positive for the staff. I think you can do a lot more developmentally, with your staff. You can kind of get guys like ready. You can kind of work bigger picture. You're probably looking at having some extra people into your meetings, to kind of help out with things. So, I think it would be a good move, obviously, because it helps with the distribution of information and the instruction, obviously, out there on the football field.
When it comes to recruiting, we know there's a limit on the number of, recruiters that can actually, travel off site. Would that be impacted by this new change?
It sounds like it could. Well, in Nebraska does kind of do some substitutions like that from time to time. They have a couple of coaches that, have passed the NCAA ethics test, where they've had to kind of pull some guys out, or they push some guys in because they have, ties to the area. Coach Dawson a year ago, kind of is along those same lines, wasn't a full-time coach. Had plenty of ties down to Florida. However, so he and, whether it was Coach Cooper or Coach Barthel, would head on down to South Florida to kind of get back into his stomping ground. And that really helped, Nebraska last year to get out like McGahee and Barney and others, out of that area. So, and Tarver, as well. I was going to forget him. I think that would be something that would kind of widen the base to where you would probably have more guys, more folks on your staff that have been ready, to kind of jump on the road if they need to because of the ethics test, taking the ethics test, which is really the thing that stands in the way from them being able to kind of go out there and recruit anyway. But that would be something, obviously, I think that would go hand in hand with it, because obviously some of them are already talking to recruits, and I got a lot of mentions from recruits this weekend that to other staff members that aren't full-time coaches. So I think, Rule and his staff are very deep, and they're working this very differently, and getting other people involved that have responsibilities in the room, helping out and stuff like that. That this could be a real boost to them, because I think of the size of their staff, number one, and I think just the quality and the depth of it as well.
I'm glad you went that way. I want to end with this sort of discussion real quick, Brian, is that on the one hand, I think Nebraska being the developmental program, having increased staff size in a lot of areas, might just be like title change or slight responsibility change, because they have a lot of people in the building. But at the same time, Matt Rule's all about buy-in, right? Culture, preaching it, being completely in line, getting good people in the building. The bigger a staff is, the harder it is to make sure everyone's, in line and doing the right thing. Is there a risk at all for Nebraska to go, overboard with getting too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen? Or do you think Nebraska is pretty well set up to where you feel good about Matt Rule's message and the people he's bringing in, that it wouldn't be an issue?
I think it depends on how your span of control is divided up. I think that you obviously have people leaders, and you'll have to put them in charge of those that you're kind of mentioning, more boots on the ground, the ones that are a little bit more recruit personnel, family facing, and whether or not they're getting the job done, whether or not they're hitting the mark when it comes to that person's very easy to talk to. I think Nebraska and Matt Rule, I'd be very surprised, in fact, if this wasn't happening. I would bet that they are very interested in the feedback, on their staff, on the people that they connect with, on the people that are hitting the mark, the people that obviously it just wasn't happening, and ways to kind of train that, ways to kind of keep that, kind of going, or finding another role for them, or maybe possibly them, having lead Nebraska. But I would be shocked if there wasn't almost like a Google survey that almost like that the parents would get to ask about, hey, you worked with blah, blah, blah. How was your connection? Did you find that they were attentive? Did you find that they were able to answer your questions without having to go ask other questions themselves, et cetera? That really, though, comes back to, like I said, that span of control, and making sure that you have somebody there that's in the know, that understands that, that's evaluating that, and is on top of that about the people that are really kind of leading in that area, or the ones that are basically kind of they're trying to get maybe even like covered up by the numbers and the density and the quantity of the other people that are kind of around. I think that you run the risk potentially of hiding some people, but I think Matt Rule and his staff have ways to kind of get that to come to light.
That's Brian Munson, that other voice you're hearing. He joins us Mondays at 2:30 to talk all things Husker football recruiting. He's with Husker Online. Check him out, huskeronline.com. Brian, as always, appreciate the update and your time. We'll catch up again soon.
See you, buddy.
Brian, again, joined us on our Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll take a break, wrap up on the block right after this.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Play ball! Tired of the same old routine? Then bring your crew out to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. Enjoy action-packed home games all week long from May through August. It's the perfect change-up to the typical family night or makes for a home run outing with friends and coworkers. Experience the magic and get in on the excitement. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets now. Unleash the fun.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block, brought to you by Nebco. One segment left to go here on the show. At the end of hour one, we had our track segment, Rico and Bella in the house, for the crossover, and a new kind of crossover, long crossover, short crossover with Old School, long crossover with Early Break. We welcome in DP. What's up, DP?
Afternoon.
And Jake Sorensen. Jake.
This is late in the day for me.
It is. I'm not used to seeing you here.
I'm just full of caffeine, Red Bull,
In
coffee,
Royals anger.
Dr. Pepper, anger, all the above on a Monday. You're supposed to be happy on Mondays, right? Aren't Mondays happy days? You don't have to be upset on Mondays.
You're not supposed to be.
Not supposed to be. Try to be optimistic and full of life and energy. But when the Royals are in a slump as they are, I get a little negative, DP. Need a little positivity in my life right now. They are 8-18. Their last 26 games, they've lost 11 of 14. Me and Austin text a lot about I text Austin when things are going poorly and when they're good also.
I try to center Jake, and it works about half the time.
I'm a Dolphins fan. I don't have nice things in my life. I'm used to pain and suffering, and the Royals are no different from that. They have won a World Series in the last 10 years, 9 years ago, which was a great year, great World Series. But when they had a surprise start, they were supposed to be a team that's 500 at best, which they might end up that way, but they're at 1.15 games above 500. And then June happened. And here we are, 5 games above 500. And even this Marlins series against a bad team is no guarantee. And this homestand coming up is no guarantee because they had this brutal stretch of Yankees and Dodgers back-to-back that
After
wrecked them.
Guards and Mariners.
It wrecked them.
Yeah, the nerve of them having to play people in the league.
I know. It was the timing. Nobody should have to face the Yankees and Dodgers back-to-back. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Really?
And you thought, okay, well, now you're past the Dodgers.
Orioles did it.
Let's go beat the A's. No, the A's almost swept the Royals. The Royals had to have an 8th inning home run to beat the A's.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby Witt. And then they get swept by the defending World Series champions, the Rangers, who've had a rough start this year. They're under 500 still. But you didn't expect to go 1-5 against Oakland and Texas after the beast week of Yankees-Dodgers. So I have been in panic freak-out mode over here, DP, which is probably no surprise to you at all, knowing me.
No.
And how I operate.
No, not surprised.
Let's
not
go
surprised. But I'll ask you this. Actually, go ahead and do the ID, and then I'll ask him this question.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, so if 2 months ago,
3
months ago, I had said to you that on this date, that the Kansas City Royals will be 5 games over 500, what would your reaction be?
I would be ecstatic. Now, I hate this hypothetical because when you've had the start the Royals had, and you saw 15, 16 games above 500, which I knew was too good to be true. I knew it was going to fall apart at some point and come back to 500. Yes, to answer the question, I would have taken it in a heartbeat for June 24th to be 5 games over 500. But the way it has happened has been downright heartbreaking and depressing.
I described it as watching a train wreck in slow motion, right? It's just
And
oozing.
knowing
It's
it was
like a
gonna
basketball
happen.
game. You're up 20, it's 18, it's 15, 13,
Yeah.
10, 8,
Yep.
6, 4, 3, 1, and now
Man,
you're
deficit.
out of the playoff
Is-
spot for the first time in 2 months.
Is the result the thing that matters, or how you feel about the result what matters?
Both.
I phrased it this way. In the big picture, I'm not concerned because 106 losses last year is 106 losses
that was
last year.
bad.
As soon as I start feeling bad about this year, I remember how bad I felt last year.
Well, the season
But
was
I think
over
it's
by May
equally-
1st last year.
Right. I feel it's equally
May
valid,
1st.
though, to be disappointed by how things have fallen apart only because there hasn't been a move made yet, right? That's what gives me hope is that there seem to be moves on the horizon. So I'm not packing it in saying it's all over, but something's got to happen for me to start feeling good again.
Well, DP, a main issue for the Royals has been, ever since April, has been the bullpen. The bullpen has been atrocious, and I used to have the
Striking
problem.
out less than a batter per 9.
I go back to spring training, and there's a guy that was tearing it up in spring training, Walter Pennington, who still has not been called up, and he's tearing it up in AAA all season long, and that's a huge need. John Schreiber was great in April. Ever since April, DP, you could put me blind up there, and I get a hit off of John Schreiber. Not really, but that's what it feels. That's what it feels like. Every time he's pitching, there's
Johnny Leverage.
multiple
No.
guys on base. Runs get scored. Will Smith has been okay, but he was bad in April. Nick Anderson is not pitchable. Chris Stratton has been mostly not pitchable, it feels like. James MacArthur has been a very unreliable closer. And there's just not
Zerpa
a single
as a fireman doesn't excite you
Zerpa had
necessarily.
2 weeks that he was good, and he's back to being Zerpa, which is not good. So there's not one reliable arm in the Royals bullpen.
And yet the lineup's the bigger problem.
And they can't score runs. They got they got shut out in back-to-back games. They have not scored a run in 22 innings. Terrible.
So the fact that there are only 8 teams in Major League Baseball that have won more games than the Kansas City Royals.
Stunning.
8.
I know.
There are 8. This is why players don't listen to fans.
They're smart to do so.
They don't listen to you. They don't care about how you feel.
What is
They're
fan
playing
short
their
for, DP?
They're fanatic.
Thank you.
And
Does it have to be reasonable?
or
Or not?
as my uncle would say, fool and nut.
That's me. That's me.
Join the club.
Yeah, like
made it.
fool
Guilty.
and nut. Fool and nut.
Guilty.
That this is where you say trust the process, because in the process, in order for them to have the best version of the season they can have, is for them to learn. And the learning process is that the bullpen's not what it needs to be, so they'll go and get somebody and they'll make changes. That would be should be the mission. It is not how you feel. on June 2024.
Yes.
It should be, what's it going to look like in September based on where you currently are?
Well, again, the one problem I have is that, you can go make trades and whatever, but they have a guy, I think, in the minors that could really help the bullpen in Pennington. He was really good in spring training. I'm talking every time it was an inning, 3 strikeouts.
Do you know him better than the skipper?
I would hope not. But the stats he put up in spring training and what he's putting up now, which is a dire need for the Royals, would say, why is he not called up yet?
Does the phrase "fool's gold" mean anything?
Well, if fool's gold would be that was John Schreiber. He was fool's gold in April. Now he's a pumpkin. A pumpkin. But
I would also rather trade for lineup help every day than a bullpen piece.
Yes, and I'm not sure where you go with that route. But Austin, you pay attention to the Royals' AAA, AA affiliates. Is there any
help?
Is there any reason?
There's news on that front.
I saw there's some news today.
Michael Massey back. Shot in the arm. Offense started tanking when he went down. Now, pinning all your hopes and dreams on Michael Massey is not a great place to be.
Not good.
But I'm a Michael Massey fan. CJ Alexander.
Haven't seen him.
Up. He was part of the trade that brought Drew Waters over as well from Atlanta. Has hit like 323 since April 20th. Cut his strikeout rate, improved his contact rate. Hopefully he's just like a 2-week flash in the pan until something happens. Adam Frazier, injured list.
Yep.
Nelson Velasquez sent to Omaha, and Jake Brent, DFA.
Yeah, Velasquez was on a heater for a while. He's gone ice cold the last couple of weeks, and that's the Royals offense in general. But when he's on, he's a home run machine. But again, I asked the question, none of these moves are Pennington to the majors at this point. And I'm not the skipper. I'm not a scout. I'm a fanatic watching from the outside. But I see a potential fix for a beleaguered bullpen that needs a shot in the arm itself. And he's still in AAA. While the other guys, besides, we haven't seen Brent. Has he pitched this year? Brent?
No, he was injured, rehabbing on the dime, and bad when he was available a couple years ago.
I'm always fascinated by Royals fans.
Why is that?
Royals fans like running into the wall and banging their head against it.
Well, that's me with every team of mine. Dolphins, Royals,
I'm including
Huskers.
You, I'm including you in it. Like
I got a headache for all the banging I've done into the wall for my sports teams.
Is this Royals team watchable? Do they play hard?
Up until the last 2 weeks, I'd say, they never got blown out. Now they've had some blowout losses, which is unfortunate.
Hard.
Yes.
Play smart baseball?
Pretty smart. They're pretty good defensively.
Right.
I think Hampson's had some issues defensively.
Yeah.
Isbell's made some great catches in the outfield.
I am starting to wonder if they got away with a lot of mistakes, though. They got brought to light against really good teams. So maybe it's not as watchable as we thought it was early on.
Are they maximizing talent that they have? Because they're not the most talented team.
No, they're not.
In that division, right?
I still struggle to say they're maximizing, but they're not.
I think the rotation is
they're 5 games over 500 in a division where, quite frankly, again, they lost 100 plus last year.
That's the other part of this is that Cleveland should not be this good.
No,
and
Cleveland
has sustained it.
I don't understand.
Well, but you also know in sports, stop looking over the fence at what your neighbor's doing and fix your own house.
I can't explain the Guardians. They just keep winning, and they're not that good.
And you knew the Twins were going to get
Ramirez
hot at
is
some point.
obviously great. He's always good. Jose is great.
Stephen Kwan is
back from injury, but he was hurt for a while. The Nailers are hitting, apparently. Josh is hitting a bunch of home runs, and their bullpen is great. So they're like the Royals from 2014-15. They have an elite 7, 8, 9 inning. So if they're up after the 6th, the game is effectively over.
Let me say this, that if the Guardians are legitimately the best team in the division, then you're playing for playoff berth. If the playoffs, let me hit you with that one. If the playoffs started today,
the Royals would be out of it for the first time since April 7th.
Yeah, they're not. The Red Sox.
For the first time since April 7th, they lost it.
And do you think they will be in? Do you think they're
I
better?
don't know.
Do you think they're better than the Boston Red Sox?
Boston's getting healthy. I don't know.
This is a very telling week. So we thought this past week would be telling with the A's and the Rangers. Now, this week, again, you have a 10-game homestand. You got the Marlins for 3 starting tonight, and then you have a major series and a team that we talked about. The Guardians come to KC for 4 games, and then who's the third? Who's after that? There's 3 more at home.
Yeah,
it's a 10-game homestand. But regardless, you've got a chance to
winnable game.
Winnable games. You got to. I mean, you played Cleveland.
Tampa.
You played Cleveland 2 games so far. 1 game got rained out. They're split against Cleveland on the road, a team that is, I think they have the best major record in the majors at home. Cleveland does this year. They've been remarkable at home. So to split that was great. But you got to take advantage of them, and you're not gonna catch them by the All-Star break. You're what, 8-9 games back. The point is, can you cut into that and feel like you have a chance in the division? Don't let them run away with it. At the same time, stay in the playoff race regardless.
So
10-game homestand. It's time to make some noise.
Well, I mean, you're right in that a 10-game homestand before the All-Star break, before you go on the road, but that road trip isn't scary. It's not frightening. In this, if you do what you're supposed to, the old adage that there's nothing wrong with the Royals that a win can't cure.
Or like 6 wins, preferably.
If they sweep the Marlins, I'll be like, all right, here we go. We're back. And then just take a couple from Cleveland. Don't expect to win the series. Can you split it? Can you go 2-2? I mean, don't go 1-3 against Cleveland or 0-4 for crying out loud on your home field. Reagan's on the mound tonight. He's been good. Not great, but he's been good.
He's been great, not elite.
The Marlins, you got your top 3 starters in these 3 games. Take advantage, KC. Come on. Get back on the winning track.
Please.
Or else I will go off the rails again. Which some people like that. Some people really enjoy that, DP.
There are people who enjoy that.
Eric on the text line is one of them. Jake's misery makes me happy.
Yeah, I know Eric. Eric's texted in for many years about my misery. He does enjoy it. So, Eric, this is for you.
Jake, you are always welcome to rant Royals during On the Block if you're around.
Well, I'll do
positive
that.
Or
Hopefully
negative.
it's net positivity.
Now you're going to have people out there rooting against the Royals just to have you go off.
They're on the air tonight against the Marlins. See if they'll get back on track.
Come on,
but
Reagans.
First, Old School. I'm sitting in with DP. Don't go anywhere. Old School coming up next. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting